What's up, family, and welcome to another episode of the Limelight, where the dopeness continues. And today is no different. We catch up with your girl, Lillie Mae Jones, who's a business consultant, media personality, and public educator. She's originally from the streets of Virginia, but is now taking over the streets of Atlanta. And we discuss so many things, including what makes her different from a publicist. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to Limelight, guys, and we're here, as I promised, with Lillie Mae Jones. Thank you, Mama, for being here. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited to have an opportunity to talk to you a little bit about myself and what's going on over here.
And I'm excited too. So let me tell you first, because I know you're probably like, where did this woman come from? So I've been following you on social media. You're literally like a networking goddess out here. Like, you're always in the groups. I'm always seeing you on Instagram. I always see you on Facebook. And I'm like, yo, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I need to learn a few things from you. So I'm really glad that you're here, and I'm glad that I'm speaking to you today. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so for you guys at home, just so you know, Lillie does a lot of things, okay? Y'all thought I do a lot. She has me beat. So first, she is a business consultant. She is also a media personality, and she's also a public educator. So those are three main things that she has under her belt. And today we're going to focus a little bit more so on the business consultant and the aspect of her business. So really quick, can you tell me too, what basically is a business consultant? How would you describe that?
Okay, so first of all, I can't really talk about being a business consultant until I kind of talk about what a consultant is. And so a consultant is an individual that provides advice, guidance, mentorship, if you will, in a specific area of knowledge or expertise. Now, for me, when I say business consultant, I specifically focus in on operations, strategy, and management. So what that looks like is, you have a company, we're going to help you put the operational piece together. What does your daily operations need to look like? What's your strategy to move this idea to a concept? Or do you need someone to kind of manage your calendar? Do you need someone to manage your day-to-day processes? Are you trying to expand into new markets or increase awareness in the new markets? Pretty much, as a business consultant, I work to increase the business's capabilities.
Nice. Okay. And so who exactly are you consulting? Are you doing individuals? Are you doing small businesses, corporations?
So it depends. It really depends on who needs the consulting. So generally, it started off in my apartment when I was in undergrad. I wanted to help other first generation college students that look like me. Now, when you think about first generation college students, you think about disadvantaged, underprivileged people. That wasn't me. I was first generation college student because my parents were 46 and 56 when they had me. So that's how I became a first generation college student. So I wasn't underprivileged or disadvantaged at all, except for I had to go through the whole college admission, financial aid, all that process by myself. So I started off in academic advisement. I was helping people kind of figure out what they wanted to do and stuff like that. That translated into me doing like resume prep and stuff like that. So I was doing job preparedness and academic advisement. Then when I went to graduate school and law school, I used those skills to really ramp up a consulting firm, and I started doing contract review and document creation and stuff like that. So it's kind of built with my academic studies. So it's not like this DIY self-taught stuff. If I was in my other room, I've been through it, not no online 6-week programs. Like, I probably got 20 years of seat hours between undergrad, grad, law, and postgrad.
Oh, and I read about you. She has a bachelor's, a master's. Y'all have to go and check out her website because my girl is educated, okay? She knows what she's doing. So yes, and also what I noticed about you, and honestly, what I admire, what I love, is you love helping people. I feel like a lot of times these days, you don't get a lot of help, or it's not genuine help. And for you, like I said, I see you in the groups. You're always posting, hey, like, anybody needs interviews, anybody needs help with this, you know what I mean? And I think that's really cool. Where does that come from? Just you being so caring and wanting to help everybody.
Oh, my parents. See, this is the thing. You have some individuals that want to help, and they want to help so that they can get involved and kind of get in the mix. For me, I was always taught charity begins at home. And once you take care of home, you go out into the highways and byways and help people. So I don't mind helping people. I don't need my name on stuff because my name is Lillie Mae and my name has always held weight. So I didn't have to create these alter egos and these alter identities, to fulfill some childhood fantasy or to get my senior superlatives that I didn't get in high school. Helping, it comes from within. I saw my mother and my father take care of communities of people, so that's all I know.
I know I said I kind of want to stay on business, and I am, but I do want to know, how do you juggle all of this? Because I mean, like I said, the consultant, and then you still have to, be that public educator too. Is it a balance? Do you ever feel like, if I'm doing this, I can't do this? Or
you know what? When you want to do a lot of things, you can't just be jumping all over Uncle John's barn.
And that's my problem, yeah.
So basically, once again, how can I be a business consultant in the area of strategy, operations, and management if I can't manage my own? So think about it. Business consultant, helping people, providing education and information. Media personality, providing education and information. Public educator, providing. So it all comes together, and I do it all really simultaneously on top of my career. So this is my thing. When it is you, you don't have to create it. This is me. I don't have to create it. So it would be hard for me to really tell somebody how to do all of these things at one time by themselves if it's not really them.
Well, then let me ask you this then, because you have to do so many things. Are you doing it because you're doing it all by yourself? So do you feel like another person could probably do everything by themselves? Or
I do believe so. I have, like, for the media side of things, so we have ID 104 radio. So I do have correspondents that do stuff with that, especially since I've been down, these past few weeks. So I have help, but the interesting thing about the help that I have, they're not associated with the industry at all. They are my friends of 10, 15, 20, 30 years that support what I do without a vested interest in anything. Because, a lot of times people support you because they want something that you got. My friends, Chelsea, Marquita, Angie, Drea in the industry, but she still support. Jamila, you feel what I'm saying? They all support and ain't got nothing to do with nothing that I'm doing.
That's dope.
And I trust them. I'm gonna be real with you. I love people, but I don't trust half of the people that I work with. Why? Because they don't really want to work with me because they want to work with me. They want to work with me so that they can get close to whatever they think or whatever they've seen me connected to. And that is what I have an issue with.
Got you. And I understand and I feel you. And I absolutely feel you. You want to know what's kind of interesting? I know I'm probably going to be, biting myself after this interview, but I noticed you're from Virginia and you live in Atlanta now. And so I'm from Boston and I live in Georgia, but I go to Atlanta. And what I notice is when I network out there, you'll find them people that really want to help. But I feel like the people that want to help are the people who don't live or are not from Atlanta. The ones that are from Atlanta, they're like, you gotta find it yourself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, okay. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I don't know, what's that dynamic? Maybe it's just because you're an outsider.
Before I came here, I was told that Atlanta's, because we got to get something together. We got to set the record straight. Atlanta is in Georgia. Atlanta is not Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say it again. Atlanta is in Georgia. Atlanta is not Georgia.
Mm-hmm. And why do you say that?
Simply because, number one, Georgia, let's just be real, is a red state.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta is a blue city.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole lot of purple coming into the city.
Yes, yes.
And the interesting thing about the statement that I'm making, without being too ugly, is that people are so quick to talk about what the white man do, when realistically, those are the only people that are actually helping those of us that actually like to assist and provide support and be involved without expecting anything in return. So I say that to say Atlanta is in Georgia. Atlanta is not Georgia. And sometimes you have to reach outside of Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
to touch and receive what you need to get to where you would like to be. And the reality is, California go always pull rank. I don't care if they want to call Atlanta Black Hollywood. I don't give a doggone. California gonna always pull rank.
How you feel about New York?
I think New York is an interesting thing. I think the interesting thing is that New York kind of fit the time. So you remember them 80s, them 80s and 90s. But I do think that New York is a spectacular place to be if you're interested in more of the documentaries, the news presentations, the political arena. I feel like New York is a great place for political correspondence because there's so many different things going on. I do.
Okay, nice. A business consultant versus a publicist. What's the difference? What's the similarities, if you had to tell us?
So I think that a publicist, okay, well, first of all, public relations is a part of a marketing mix, right? So, a publicist tells a story. A publicist kind of brings it to life, right? Almost like a journalist. That's why I think a lot of journalists and publicists are they work simultaneously. But as a consultant, I'm more looking at, like I said, turning that idea into a concept, like taking what's here and really creating a framework for it so you can do something with it. You get what I'm saying?
Well, can you give us like an example, if you will?
Okay, so a publicist would possibly create a pitch for you. So you send a publicist your press kit or whatever, they create a pitch and they send it out to everybody as secure media, right? Now, as a business consultant, I might come up with a media plan for you, and then you could take it to your publicist and say, hey, this is what my consultant came up with. Can you come up with a pitch? Help me execute it. Now, I provide some public relations services. I do bios, I do, press kits, but I'm not a publicist. I'm not trying to tell nobody's story but my own.
Okay, because I always wanted to know, because like you're saying, you do like strategies and stuff, and I'm like, well, doesn't kind of a publicist do that too? And I always would get so confused. So thank you for trying to clarify that for me. So let me ask, so usually a person can have a business consultant and a publicist. They got both.
Oh, absolutely. Because you need a team of people. I also feel like there are times when it's appropriate to specify what your specialty is. Because I feel like some publicists are really good with securing media, whereas some publicists are really good with pitching and telling a story. And some publicists are good with events. Like, I think that sometimes you have to find out what your specialty is and go with it.
Gotcha. Okay. So what do you feel like your specialty would be? Like, what are the type of clients you usually look for, the clients that usually come to you?
So now, most of the time, I get, like I said, individuals that really are just thinking of something. Okay. It's like, yo, Lillie, like, this is what my thought is. Or I get a lot of independent creatives simply because they're near and dear to my heart. They remind me of my high school students that are trying to figure out if college is for them, if work after school. Like independent artists and other creatives remind me so much of my high school students, that I used to teach. And I think that's why I like working with startups and independents, because they don't feel like they got all the answers already. And so they're open to listen and understand. And also, resource mapping realistically is one of my niches, right? So you say networking, I just say resource mapping, because a lot of times I'm going through putting responsible individuals in place for these people.
What skills do you feel like you need to be a business consultant, a successful one? Because I feel like you're successful. What skills do you need, or you would say you need?
Number one, you got to be organized, right? You got to be organized, and you have to have a system of organization that's not just electronic. So realistically, it's funny that I'm interviewing in my bed, because I got I got a notebook for everything, right?
So girl, we are so much alike. It's annoying.
I got a notebook for everything. So each person has a notebook, or may have a specific, folder or something like that. Or I may have a notebook or a folder for specific things. So a nonprofit folder, right? All right. So an independent contractor. All right. So that's going to look a little different. So that's the first thing, organizational skills. And then professional development and continuing education. So it's not like I'm not constantly trying to find other opportunities to learn, and hone my craft, because it's ever evolving.
Yep. I hear you.
And an open mind, because things are always changing. And really, as a consultant, you're always learning, because you always got to do research. So you also have to be a great investigative researcher.
Yep.
Because you got to go find specific things to help, because everybody's situation is different.
I love that.
Everybody's situation is different. Yep.
Oh, let me ask, because when you talked about like road mapping, I know that's a lot of networking. And so, I mean, you obviously didn't just start with all these people in your pocket, right? So how did you kind of, make them comfortable and want to, take your clients on and stuff like that? Are you just writing them and say, hey, I'm Lillie, and then I may have some clients and I'll hit you in the future? Or are you always just writing them so they get familiar with you?
Oh, so that's a good question. I wish my mother could answer that for you. Realistically, I've always talked to any and everybody. Like, I would never get my mother saying, first of all, I was too big to sit up in the basket like most kids. So she would just have to hold my hand and I would walk.
Yes.
And I would just walk up to people and talk to them. And I grew up in a very, very interesting area. So I would walk up to people that didn't look nothing like me and just engage in conversations with them. And it used to surprise them that a kid at 1 and 2 years old could speak like that. And especially,
right.
You follow me? So it's natural to me.
I love that.
It's just natural.
We're just so similar. That is just so weird to me. I'm like, you're saying certain things.
We were born to wise. I think the reality is we were born to wise parents.
Yeah. I'll give my parents that. I'll give my parents that. And I already can see your parents as well. That's what you're telling me right now. I love that. Okay. And so about consulting. So it's consulting time. That is your baby. That is your baby. So tell a little bit. Well, you already are telling. Well, you could tell us a little bit of what it is overall. And then, are you accepting clients?
Okay, so it's consulting time. Realistically, is a show. And it's the audiovisual platform where I host interviews such as yourself for all creatives, whether you're A-list, C-list, B-list, D-list, N-list, Z-list, no list. Everybody is welcome. Yes. And we just really want to honor the person behind the craft and highlight their contributions to their respective communities. And so basically it's consulting time because everybody has some jewels to drop. That's really what it was. And I just wanted people to feel like they were in their grandma's living room on Sunday after dinner, just sitting there having a conversation with Big Mama.
And I love that. I mean, do you feel like you get that with me?
I do.
Okay, girl, because that's what I wanted.
Yes.
Love that. And how did you get involved with the radio too? Because I know you also do that.
Well, that was shout out to Skyfall Records. So the CEO of the record label was just like, okay, Lillie, you really going hard with this podcast thing. Why don't we just attach a digital radio station and give the creatives the opportunity to spin their music, and you can do your show and other people can bring their podcast? Because so many people always want to charge you to be on their platforms. And we kind of just feel like we're not charging nobody to be on it. Number one, because we just starting out. And number two, like, we good over here.
Right. I love that.
I feel like you don't have to chase what you already got.
You're right. It's been such an honor speaking to you. Like I said,
oh, thank you.
You dropped some gems, and then you also
I got to go over to my Facebook Live in a minute and drop some more, because I need to let the children know I'm not playing with them.
Girl, you better do it. Girl, you better.
Yes.
Before you go, please let everybody know where they can catch you. If maybe they want to interview, where can they catch you? Find you?
Oh yeah, listen, www.lilliemaecollective.com. That's LILLIEMAECOLLECTIVE, lilliemaecollective.com, and that will give you everything that you need to know. Go through the tabs and check out what's going on, y'all.
Well, you heard it here first with your girl, Lillie Mae Jones. I loved her. I love the energy. And we're going to have her coming back for some episode, but I ain't tell her that yet. But
okay. It's cool.
So thank you guys. And thank you, Lillie, one more time.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And you guys know where to find me on JSWTV, the Limelight. And until next time, we are out.
Bye.